Question number 5, Mark Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Trade. What recent progress has he made in improving access to international markets and supporting New Zealand exporters to grow and create new jobs?
The Honourable Tim Grosser.
Mr. Speaker, last week trade ministers from 12 Pacific countries covering almost 40% of the global economy and 800 million consumers successfully concluded negotiations for the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the largest free trade agreement that New Zealand has been part of. Under its provisions, we will eliminate tariffs on 93% of New Zealand's exports to our new FTA partners, and using the very conservative measure of tariff savings, that will save New Zealand businesses a little more than $250 million a year, which is roughly twice the same estimate given for the China FTA.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Mark Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What reaction has the Minister seen on the outcomes of TPP negotiations?
The Honourable Tim Grosser.
Well, many reactions, and I'll quote you a couple of the more interesting political ones, or interesting to me. First of all, Federation of Māori Authorities has said, quote, "Māori have always traded across Te Moana Nui a Kiwa, so the TPP is a contemporary expression of age-old trading routes."
Order.
Oh, they really don't want to hear the politics.
I require the Minister to resume his seat. I will not put up with that level of interjection coming somewhere on my left. If I can cite from where it's coming, those people will be immediately leaving the chamber for at least the balance of question time. The Honourable Tim Grosser.
I would concede, Mr. Speaker, that I am being very provocative in the quotations that I'm using here in terms of their political constituencies. The removal of tariffs is an immediate advantage for Māori exporters, and the agreement sets the stage for better gains in the future. I would also like to quote the chairman and president of World Wildlife Fund in the United States. Quote, "No major trade agreement before this one has gone so far to address growing pressures on natural resources like overexploited fish, wildlife and forests. The conservation committees in this trade agreement could be game changers," unquote.
Supplementary question, Mark Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. What outcome was achieved for dairy? And is the sector going to be worse off from the TPP, as some have suggested?
The
Mr.
Honourable
Speaker.
Tim Grosser.
First of all, using this metric that we traditionally use, the paradox is this. Dairy sector is the largest single source of gains from TPP, accounting for roughly 40% of the gains. And this is only because, while we are very regretful that the United States blinked and failed to use this as an opportunity to restructure global dairy trade, what we did achieve represents very significant gains for the dairy industry, and I am certain we will build on that in the future.
Supplementary question, David Seymour.
Could the Minister characterise some of the key motivations for opposing free trade agreements such as the TPP?
Oh, no, I can't see any ministerial responsibility for that.
Answer the question, Mr. Speaker.
Question number 6, the Honourable Annette King.
Thank you, Mr.